So we used to, we were on the farm in the summer, and we would try to generate the activities that we had back home, and we both played baseball quite a bit.
Huh.
So we had two cousins, second cousins or something, and a few others who would join in, and we'd play out in the cow fields. And we had to generate approximation of a baseball. I can't even remember if we used a baseball or softball or tennis ball. But we had bats and we had gloves. We brought our gloves. And so we had to have bases, so dried cow flaps became the bases. Now that was a bit of a problem in two respects. One was that we had trouble geographically because the difference between second base and third base could be quite a bit different than the difference between first base and second base.
Well, can't you just move the cow pies around?
Well, we didn't really want to move cow pies around because that brings up the second distance. And the second difference was that the cow pies were more or less trustworthy depending on their age. So some of them weren't old enough to be movable, and we found that out usually when we're speeding around the bases. So given those two problems notwithstanding, we proceeded and we hit the baseball, but there were stones in the field. So, and it was very hard to tell the lines. So we depended a lot on kind of approximation of the outfielders, whether it was fair or not. And I'm not even sure we kept score. We also played, we had a home game once. I think my father might have participated in that. He didn't have much of a baseball skills, but he was a person, and we needed people for that. And the most interesting of those sessions were the time we went to our cousins, and they had an electric fence, which I had never experienced before. And it's just two little wires, right? You've probably seen them. And so I thought we have to get into the field. It was beside the barn. We have to get into the field so that you have to hold the wire up to get under the fence, right? So I promptly grabbed the line and got one hell of a shock. What was really difficult in terms of talking about my own intelligence was what happened next. I looked at the wire like I had been personally abused and couldn't make sense of what had happened because I didn't know what an electric fence was. So my natural response was kind of like we do with computers nowadays. If it doesn't work, you go through a series of things, eventually shut it off and turn it on again, hope it goes away, and the computer gremlins are missing. That does not apply, I'd like to say, to electric fences, because I looked at it for maybe 3 or 4 seconds intently and then promptly grabbed it again. I got one hell of a shock again. I will say, though, that I'm very good at two-trial learning. Very, very good. I throw things at fences now to see if they're still on. So that's my brief but spectacular little story from childhood.
I'm surprised you didn't pee on it.
I did not think of that. I didn't. This was a new concept for me, an electric fence. Why would people do that?